With so many different social media platforms out there, it gets really difficult to not only keep track of all of them, but figure out what's gonna be the best for my business. So in this video, we're gonna be going over the 5 best, and in my personal opinion, social media platforms for real estate agents, brokers, and teams, some of the best things, some of the worst things, and how to actually use them for your real estate business. So let's get into it. Hey, what's going on everyone? Aaron here, back once again from the Real Estate Marketing Guys, as well as Revamped Real Estate. And as we said in the intro, we're going over the top 5 pieces of social media and the top 5 platforms to use. And then also what are some strategies that you can use based on the one that you decide to go after, and some of the best things and the worst things about these platforms. Again, this is opinion based, but also just spending a ton of time on Clubhouse. I've been able to soak in a lot of these 5 platforms that we're gonna be talking about. And again, some of the good and some of the bad, just from some practitioners in the space that are using these things on a daily basis for their real estate businesses. So with that being said, let's jump into the first one, and we're talking about Clubhouse. So again, number 1 in terms of the best social media platforms for real estate agents is Clubhouse. And the reason I'm saying that is because number 1, it's new, right? And the cool part about some of these newer platforms being that, I mean, it's still at the time of recording this video, beginning of February, it's still an invite only. The cool part about that is just it's inclusive, right? Or exclusive. That's what I meant. It's exclusive, so only a certain amount of people are able to jump into it. So for the ones that are jumping in early, they're gonna be able to, again, learn exactly how to use it, learn the best ways, the worst ways to use it, how to generate a following, how to generate people coming through, to follow them on other platforms, and really just reap the benefits there. Another pro that I've seen, and maybe this is just because I spend a lot of time in real estate specific rooms, but there's a ton of just real estate professionals in general. I haven't really seen, a lot of other, main industries jumping onto Clubhouse. Again, maybe that's just because I only follow real estate people, but we have just massive brokers and teams. You have Glenn Sanford hanging out on there. You have Ryan Serhant. You have, Tristan Ahumada. You have just so many different heavy hitters within the space. Those were the first 3 that came to mind because they're super active, but it's just crazy to be able to talk to those people and have conversations with the ones that are just absolutely killing it in the space. Now, the one con of Clubhouse that I'm seeing that I've had to really kind of hold myself back on is the fact that you can literally fall into a black hole and spend hours and hours and hours a day on Clubhouse. The first time that I downloaded it, I probably was on there for 5, 6, sometimes even 8 hours a day, just learning and growing and taking in the content they were going through. So that's really the only main con that I can think of. But we actually made an entire video of how to use it, some of the pros and cons and things like that. I'll leave the link. It should be up here or over here somewhere on the video, so you guys can check out a full breakdown of Clubhouse for real estate. So jumping into number 2 of the top 5 platforms to use, social media platforms for real estate agents, brokers, and teams, is going to be, we all know and love, Facebook. Now, some of the cool parts about Facebook and the good parts about it is literally everyone and their grandma literally is on Facebook, right? You can't really talk to anybody that doesn't have a Facebook account. So the reach and the potential of getting in contact and in front of the ideal client that you're looking for is actually pretty simple. So that's really one of the main parts is you can't not meet somebody that, you can't meet someone that is not on Facebook. There we go. And another really awesome part that I love about Facebook, especially for real estate, is Facebook groups. Now we have a Facebook group, which you haven't joined already. I'll leave a link down below. It's more specific to marketing and things like that, teaching you how to build a YouTube channel and get better at social media. So if you have questions, you want to talk more on a one-on-one basis, definitely check that out. But it's something where, you can build an actual community on Facebook through this Facebook group. So for example, I'm in Virginia Beach, Virginia right now. We're planning to open up a specific group for people that live in the area that are also looking to move here, so that we can build up a community and give them the resources that they need, right? Really cultivate that audience so that if they are living here and they're looking to move or buy and sell within, X amount of time, we're gonna be the first one that they think of, because we're consistently giving back to this audience that we're not really expecting anything in the future. But of course, the reciprocity rule comes into play, so you're able to, again, get in front of them before they are actually looking to buy and sell their house. And I think it's a really cool feature of Facebook. Now, one of the negative things, we'll say the cons of Facebook, is that recently, and this is what I've noticed over the past couple of months, couple of weeks, is that the reach is, for whatever reason, becoming a little bit harder to get in front of more people. I think maybe a year ago or even 2 years ago, Facebook was really pushing videos and content and things like that. Now, because they're pushing a lot more of the group side of things, things, at least from what I've seen, it is a little bit harder to get that organic reach because, again, remember that Facebook is a business and they want you to put money into the platform, right? They want you to pay for ad space. They want you, to pay to get your videos out in front of more people. So I feel like there is some sort of like wall that you can hit. But at the same time, like Facebook recently, again, recording this in the beginning of February, is they're shutting down ad accounts left and right. For whatever reason, they're just like, oh yeah, here, your ad account's down, your ad account's down. I don't care who you are, we're throwing down your ad account, and it's been, we'll say, a headache to say the least. So those are some of the pros and cons of Facebook. So take those with what you will and figure out if that's gonna make sense for you and your business. Jumping into number 3 of the top 5 social media platforms for real estate agents, brokers, and teams is going to be kind of similar to number 2, but number 3 is Instagram. Now, this is one of my favorite out of the 5 because of the ability to actually still be found organically a lot easier on Instagram. With a lot of their recent features like IGTV, obviously more recently, the Reels feature, there's so much more, we'll say, discoverability on the platform as opposed to some of these other platforms that are a little bit more top of mind and that are also feed and algorithm based. So for Instagram, again, some of the pros there is because they're consistently updating, because they have more features, again, you won't really be able to find someone that isn't on Instagram, that isn't spending time there. So if you can stay consistent there, and then again, use some of these features that they're putting out there, using IGTV, using Reels, using the Instagram Live feature, what Instagram's gonna do is gonna be like, hey, like this person is spending a lot of time on the platform. I forgot stories, don't forget stories. But Instagram's gonna say, okay, this person is spending a lot of time on our platform, let's push it out to more people. Then of course, you can go into a whole hashtag strategy and making sure that you're tagging the right people and things like that to push it even further. So I believe that if you have a real estate business, you need to have some sort of presence on Instagram. Because again, everyone's gonna be there. I feel like a lot of these other platforms connect and integrate really easy with Instagram, and it just allows people to connect with you a little bit more on a personal level, right? When it comes to stories, I would just have my phone out every once in a while, just showcase, here's me in a listing, here's me in a house, here's what my lunch looks like. We want people to really connect with you on a one-on-one basis so that, again, when someone comes at, that top of mind awareness, when someone is looking in the area, they're following you, they're looking to buy or sell, hopefully you're the first one that comes to mind as long as you're consistent with your content on Instagram. But of course, we have to give at least one con for Instagram, and that is that the shelf life of each of these posts is not that long, right? Like you're lucky if you post something and it lasts for 48 hours. I'd say 24 to 48 hours is like the max. And you don't really have the ability to then show back up in the, the feed on Instagram. Now, of course, if you have Reels, that's a different story. You can get more engagement, more likes, more views, more comments that way. But if you spend a lot of time on some of these longer form pieces of content, let's say a video specific for IGTV, just understand that it is going to get buried in the algorithm after the first 24 to 48 hours that you post it. So that's really one of the only things that I can say negatively about Instagram. So jumping into number 4 of the top 5 social media platforms for real estate agents, brokers, and teams is going to be TikTok. Now, this one is, I actually had a completely different thought of this a couple months back before I jumped into Clubhouse, but actually recently was able to jump a little bit more into the, enjoying TikTok as a real estate platform after listening to, I've talked about him before, Zach Loft. He's a maniac. If you're not already following him on TikTok, on Instagram, on, in his Clubhouse rooms, Zachary Loft, if you just search him up, you should be able to find him. But TikTok is just one of those ones, the pros is that there's a ton of people on it, right? There's so many different people on there, and the chance of virality is actually really, I wouldn't say simple. As long as you're consistent, you're using the right songs and things like that, you will be able to be found to a certain extent, right? And it just makes it a little bit easier to become viral compared to all these other platforms. And with TikTok as well, we're talking about, being in real estate and it being such a visual industry. It's not that hard to, go into, let's say, a house that you're showing, or, the house that you bring your buyers through, whatever it is. It's just storytelling, showing, the house, showing the kitchen, with all the things that people love to see, when they're scrolling through Instagram. Almost think of like HGTV meets the Travel Channel. That's where you want to focus your time, at least in my opinion, for TikTok. But of course, we got to talk about one of the cons. And I think in the same thing with like Instagram and Facebook is that the shelf life is a little bit lower. I think that the consistency definitely has to be there a lot more. Again, I could be completely wrong about it, but from what I've seen before is like you need to consistently be posting like once a day, multiple times per day to be able to figure out like what the algorithm likes and what it doesn't, and what's actually going to put you in front of your ideal client. And of course with TikTok, and this always changes as these apps continue to be out there, and the average age of each person that's using it gets a little bit higher. There's a ton of people on TikTok. I would say like the demographics like range from anywhere anywhere from really young to, a lot older. But in my personal opinion, I feel like the people that are spending a lot of time there are not gonna be the ones that transact with you. Now, of course, if they're already following you on other platforms and they find you on TikTok, I think that's one thing. But I think, so this, as well as Instagram, as well as Facebook, these are gonna be the ones that are like your top of mind awareness type platforms, and understanding that using those on a consistent basis is just so you can continuously show up in front of that person day in, day out, so that when those 20% of your people that know you are looking to buy or sell within the year, those are gonna be the ones that, again, reach out to you because you're so consistent on all these platforms and getting in front of those people before they're there to make that buy or sell decision. And of course, we have to save the best for last. Number 5 of the top 5 social media apps for real estate agents, brokers, and teams is, drum roll please, you already know what it is, this channel is all about it, YouTube. Building a YouTube presence and a YouTube channel for your real estate business. Now, I can go on and on, I mean, you guys already know about YouTube, but it's just some of the best parts about it. And I think just number one, I always tell someone what's the best thing about it, and that is the intent behind someone that's on YouTube. When someone is on YouTube and they're searching for things like living in, Virginia Beach, Virginia, moving to this area, and you're able to get in front of that person that's already searching for it, it becomes extremely powerful. I mean, I'll throw up some screenshots and some of the lead quality that we've seen, but it's literally as close as you can get to a referral lead, right? These people come to your channel, they watch hours of your content because they're about to make the largest investment in their life. They want to learn what it's like to live in the area, what it's like to eat, breathe, sleep in the specific area that you're talking about in your market. So when you can get in front of those people, build up the know, like, and trust factor from the hours of content that you post, game over, right? When they reach out to you and actually send you a text, send you an email, whatever it is, it becomes extremely simple to convert them over into a client because they already know you, right? It's basically like a referral. But of course, we have the cons of Facebook. And before we get too far into it, I have like an entire video that I made a couple days ago talking about all the pros and all the cons about YouTube specifically. So make sure to check that out after this video. We'll leave it, as an end card on the video as well. One of the main cons of it, and it's pretty self-explanatory, is that it just takes more time, right? To film a video, to edit it, to upload, to do the keyword research. I'd say, it takes a couple hours at the minimum to create a piece of YouTube content. Of course, you get better and more, proficient with it as you continue to do it. But, compared to something like Facebook or Instagram or some of the live platforms, you can either do it in the moment or you can basically bust out a reel or a TikTok in 60 seconds. So like, again, at most 5 minutes to do some of that research on those own respective platforms, post it up, and then you're good to go. So I think that's just the main thing, is it does take a lot longer to produce YouTube content, and there is a little bit more structure to it, right? You have to make sure you have your intro, your calls to action, your education, your lower thirds, your calls to action, subscribe, and things like that. In terms of learning curve, I think that's a better way to put it, is the learning curve for YouTube is just a little bit higher, but the solution to that is stay subscribed to this YouTube channel, and we'll teach you everything that you need to know about YouTube, types of videos to make, how to structure your videos, which again, we've already kind of made a lot of those videos. So you can check out some of the other videos on this channel to learn more about how to get over that learning curve of building on YouTube. So with all that being said, guys, those in my opinion are the top 5 social media platforms you need to be using for your real estate business. Take some of the pros, some of the cons, weigh those against each other, and figure out what's gonna be the best for you. Now, the biggest caveat, one of the main things that I will tell you guys is please, please, please do not try to go all of them at once. I've even tried to do that, and all I do is create social media for our companies, and I even get stressed out by even focusing on all of these. So, hey, what's going on, guys? Aaron here, popping in really quickly. Apparently some of the footage towards the end got a little bit cut off, so I'm just coming in here, gonna do the outro here on my phone. Cool part about technology, right? So all I was saying was, don't focus on all the platforms at once, because you'll get burnt out, you'll get really discouraged because you're gonna lose a bunch of time and not see a bunch of, fruits of your labor up front, because you know how the saying goes, a man that chases, or a man or woman or whoever, right, that chases multiple rabbits catches none. So getting really good at one, being able to then teach somebody else how to do that, outsource that, and then you can even use the audience that you build on the one platform that you spend all of your time on onto the other ones as well. And then there's a ton of other benefits to it. So with that being said, get really good at one and then go into the other. So with that being said, guys, that's gonna do it for today's video. The 5 social media platforms that you need to use for your real estate agents, or if you're a real estate agent, broker, or team leader. So if you did like the video, leave a like here. Of course, we're gonna be extremely consistent on this channel over the next year, over the next couple of years. So make sure that you click the subscribe button as well as the notification bell right next to that to get notified every time we go live with a new video. That's it. Aaron, or Phone Aaron here. Well, okay, bye. That's it. Okay, bye. See you on the next one. Bye. Peace.